What's going on, people? It's your boy Clive Belvin. You are listening to The Weigh-In. In today's episode, we're going to be covering Joshua's recent win against Joseph Parker, Amir Khan as he makes his comeback against GRECO, FRAMPTON as he takes on DONAIRE April 21st, and the whole situation regarding Canelo. Joining me today, boys, introduce yourselves.
Steven in the house.
Got Ray in the building.
What are you saying, lads? So yeah, let's start with Joshua and Parker. The fight that took place 31st the other week. So yeah, what did you make of Joshua's win in Cardiff?
Do you know what? I love Parker. He's a quality fighter.
He ain't too bad, is he?
Class act. He turned up looking like a Peaky Blinder. No, he was great, and he seemed like a really nice guy all week. And he turned up and he fought well, and I was happy that he saw the final bell. So.
Listen, man, I called it. I said if it goes to decision.
Did you?
I said if it goes to decision, there's no way Joshua's losing. A lot of people thought that Parker might nick it. Kudos to Parker. I think he fought a very good fight. I also think that Joshua paced himself. I saw, I was watching it. A lot of people are saying Joshua's getting tired or there's other issues. I just feel like previously he's had issues, and I just think he fought the smart fight. He fought against a better skilled fighter, so...
Yeah. It wasn't exactly convincing though, was it?
Alright, so we watched it without the commentary, because I'm not the biggest fan of Sky Sports commentary, and obviously Joshua is their commodity and they're trying to sell him. A lot of it is part of selling him rather than actually commenting on a fair fight. So we watched it without the fan, and it was a lot different to the perception when we sort of walked away and we checked it out online after, and people were saying that Joshua looked dominant, but that's not what we saw, was it, Clive?
Mate, that's the first time I saw like Joshua popping in the back foot. I thought, he struggled with someone in front of him showing him like a lot of movement. I thought Parker won the first few rounds. Like that scorecard, 119, 109. I thought that was a joke, mate.
It's a work.
Mate, I thought, I thought Parker did brilliant on the night. I think, you know what? Joshua, yeah, he just about done enough to win. And yeah, onwards and upwards, I suppose, right?
Yeah, I scored it 116, 112, so...
sounds about right.
I think a fair win for Joshua, but I felt like Parker was hard done by the scorecards.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And also, Joshua has a lot to work on in his game, and that showed in the last two fights. Now, we talked about it last week with the Takam fight, that he was undone by a lot of movement, counter punching, and these things undo him. He's not a natural boxer. He doesn't have that IQ. He's a specimen. He's an athlete.
Yeah.
And he can punch hard.
Yeah.
But when someone offers a boxing match to him, can he box at that level?
Yeah.
And he's showing that so far he can't as he's moved up.
Yeah. Fair enough. You boys pretty much addressed it, but yeah, my next question was, Parker's still a contender in the heavyweight scene?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think with that showing, what he showed people is that he can handle the big boys, the big punchers in the game. He's slick. He's unorthodox to a certain extent. That obviously he came in southpaw at times, and then I just think he catches people off guard. And because of how small he is, I think you look at his frame, his demeanour, people think, look at this little friendly guy, he's going to get sparked out quickly. And I think he just went there and showed no, when it comes down to it, I can fight as well. And what I did like about his fighting demeanour is that he got down and dirty. When they got close, he'll give Joshua,
we're trying to get the insight, but that refereeing, boy.
I know, but I think even Joshua had a look on his face, like he smiled at him, saying, I think it was just more of I respect the fact that you're up for it type of thing.
Well, what people didn't bank on was that he's oceanic, and no, Joshua is. Parker. He's got very quick hands and good movement. He was fit for the 12 rounds. He kind of gassed a little bit down the stretch because of all the movement, but his movement was very good. He's got very quick hands, and his chin is impeccable. His manager before the fight, Higgins, said, I've never seen him rocked, and he put out that wage. Remember that wager he put out? He said, I'll give someone $10,000 or something if you can show me a video of Parker getting knocked out or even wobbled in sparring. And it showed him tonight. He was never in trouble from Joshua. He's got a fantastic chin.
You can argue the fact that who's he actually been in a ring with?
Well, sure, he's been in the ring with Joshua now, and he wasn't wobbled at all.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
What I wanted to ask, what I thought on the night is Hughie Fury had a close fight with. The scorecards were very wide that night, and Hughie Fury had a close fight with Parker. We all agree he had a close fight.
Yeah.
Joshua had.
It wasn't exactly Muhammad Ali.
It wasn't. He had a close fight with Parker. Joshua had a close fight with Parker. We're saying he had a close fight with Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fury's one could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Joshua sort of won it by a few rounds.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make Hughie Fury's sort of performance look a lot better? Has his stock risen as a result of the fight the other night?
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Depends what fight fans you're targeting, because some people are ignorant and just think if you don't get the knockout or don't get an as powerful performance, that you're not dominant.
But I thought both Fury and Joshua were back foot.
Yeah.
And I thought Parker brought it to both of them, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I rate Parker. I really like him.
Yeah. Definitely. And Joe, so guys, what do you make of Wilder's chances now after watching both him and AJ picking up wins?
I absolutely love that fight. Just absolutely.
Man, I'm buzzing for it.
Absolutely buzzing. I just think, Deontay could bounce a shot, could bounce a right hand off Joshua. He's very counterable.
I'm still going with Joshua.
I'm going with Joshua as well. I think Joshua's orthodox boxing will beat Wilder's unorthodox sort of wild swings and those kind of awkward counter punches. But he has got that devilish right hand, and Joshua doesn't seem to be able to see when those shots are coming. He doesn't move his head very much, and he's kind of bolt upright. And I could just see that right hand just landing, and sort of what would happen? What would happen when it lands? What would happen?
It's like against Ortiz. Ortiz was pretty much winning nearly every single round, and then boom.
Boom.
Everywhere boxing, it just takes one punch.
I would implore you to go and watch the Spilka knockout. I'm sure the highlights are great. You've seen the Spilka knockout where he just absolutely
proper naughty, wasn't it?
Face plants him, and to see something like that, and then to see the Ortiz stoppage, and there's countless other stoppages, but the Spilka one particularly, go and watch that. It's disgusting. Yeah. And I think later on in the fight, as Joshua does tire, if that gets bounced off Joshua, is he going to go the same way?
Things when you argue that Joshua's got too much size in him.
He came down. He came down. I think that's but that's what this fight proved a lot as well, is that he can pace it. I think for me, some people may argue, I think he done that for himself in terms of to show that I can pace myself. And then in some of the later rounds, he did put in a few power shots. Obviously, I'm sure everyone wants to see the knockout from Joshua.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone's paying for. That's why he's been built as the knockout machine. Clean knockouts as well.
Yeah.
But I think it was good for him just to show people, listen, or not even show people, not the general public, but forget the general public.
Like it is, mate. It's all good.
Yeah, forget the general public, just to show other boxers that, listen, my gas tank is there if need be.
Yeah.
So the doubts can go, because I believe that in the Klitschko fight, he did kind of empty the clip in the earlier rounds, and then remember he was on a.
Well, he thought he had it.
Exactly,
yeah,
and then
all guns out blazing.
Well, after Klitschko dropped him, it wasn't until the 10th round. He was losing it because he was basically gassed that whole time. So I think this was to show that, listen, from 1st to 12th, I can still be there. I do think that his jab was looking very crisp throughout the whole night. That's one thing I think is a lot more than previous fights.
Yeah.
And I think he showed that, and there was still good snap and power in those jabs.
I know, but do you not think it's very counterable? So those straight
shots,
straight basic combinations.
Yeah.
Wilder's got a longer reach than him.
Yeah.
He's bigger. He's taller. He's faster than him. He's got quicker hands. He's got a longer reach, and he sort of boxes longer. He's more comfortable boxing long. Whereas Joshua wants to wade in on that medium range, to sort of get his right hand across. Whereas Wilder can set those traps, and he can set those traps throughout. Whereas I think Joshua would just be susceptible to those traps.
I think it's whoever gets to who first, because it's either Joshua goes in, darts in, gets the blow in, or it's he stays on medium range and then Wilder starts swinging and bam, he gets caught.
I would 100% agree. I think it's that's why I love the fight. I think it's a shootout. I think they're going to go in and they can whatever game plan they have, someone's going to land a shot and that's going to be it.
Well, how do you think Joshua should go into this fight? Not come out all guns blazing? Or?
Nah.
I think he should try. He's trying orthodox boxing, but just try and stay wary of the kind of wild counters from Wilder. I think Wilder fades in fights as well, and he kind of slows down, and he might take it as the fight goes on, and he might get that stoppage. But it's a risky game because every round you've got that shot. Look, ninth round against Ortiz, ninth round against Philcar. He's dangerous throughout the whole fight.
He's got heavy hands throughout.
And that's how you have to worry about that.
Can you see this fight actually happening next?
But it has to because he's got to fight. So the WBA have ordered him to fight Povetkin next. And a unification.
Sorry, who's that? Joshua?
Joshua, yeah, sorry.
Okay,
so
cool.
Joshua, the WBA have ordered, Joshua's got the WBA title.
Yeah.
The WBA have ordered that he fights Povetkin next.
Yeah.
But a unification fight would outweigh a mandatory.
Okay,
He'll
cool.
take that fight.
So the only way he can not fight Povetkin next. To not fight Povetkin next is to fight Wilder next.
Okay, cool.
And so do you hang around and sort of. And then if he doesn't fight Wilder next, then the IBF might call their mandatory, and if it either happens next or it becomes very, very complicated.
But surely that fight has to take place in London.
Well, that's where it gets complicated as well, because I know, like you said about that, is it the previous fight between David Price and
Povetkin.
What was that? IBF, wasn't it?
No, that was the WBA number one contendership.
WBA. So I know that also for the WBA, he might also have to fight Joshua, but he's first got to fight Dylan White. So then. Well, Dylan White's become the mandatory as well.
Yeah, Dylan White's been called to fight with Pulev, maybe. It's all very complicated. There's a whole sort of roster there.
But like you said, money talks.
What about Fury's tweet of, look, you're going to get knocked out by Wilder, take my 50 million instead?
Mate,
he's not taking it. He's not taking a. Listen,
Fury said he'd take me.
There's no money in Fury yet until Fury comes back. Official fight, whether he fights a journeyman or not, until Fury comes back, I think with Fury it's just more of a case of people need to see him, and they don't want you to be calling people out on Twitter. They want a post-fight. I'm calling you out. Yeah. I'm calling you this, that, and the third. Come at me.
Yeah.
So I think that will help Fury more than all these Twitter call-outs. Don't get me wrong. Temporarily, for now, it helps with the whole like.
I'm loving it, man.
It's comic relief at the moment, but in terms of the mass public,
but you're looking at
it thinking like, look, Joshua's had a similar result against Parker as like young scrappy Fury. Yeah. And when Scooby comes along,
it's a different story.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying between rounds. He's like, look, 2 bums, like another shit round. he was mugging, and he's probably looking at it thinking, look, Joshua's my retirement fund. Yeah. And if Wilder just bangs him out, what am I going to do then? So he's thinking, I'm going to have to come back a little bit quicker.
I think there's money in Fury facing the winner, because then you got to think about it like this: if Joshua was to win. Yeah. Then it's who's the heavyweight king.
Yeah.
Then if Wilder was to win, it's not only the heavyweight king, but then it becomes, listen, I'm your real UK representative. Let me go over to the US and I'm gonna take out Wilder.
I think Tyson Fury's one of those guys that he needs a dance partner. He's not the star on his own. And like what is a bigger fight? Like Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. People in America don't know who Tyson Fury is. I've never heard of this guy. You know. So in the UK we know who he is, and Joshua makes that fight huge.
Heavyweight boxing in the UK is massive. Just look at Joshua's numbers over the years; it's ridiculous.
It's the second sport that I hear now. Second largest sport.
He's bringing.
We're British. Yeah, British everything else. So you know what? It is what it is.
I think he's just bringing the crowd here, and I think that's what I know that the US crowd have an issue with the whole like time situation. Well, guess what? The UK and the whole world had to deal with having to stay up for the US. So now it's the UK's time to be like, Wilder, you come over to the pond here.
Exactly. Why not?
The fight's on our terms, and I like
so
that.
We're running the show.
I like that about the situation. I'm sick and tired of. Listen, I even get upset waiting for Joshua to come out to fight at 11. I'm sick and tired of having to wait until 5 in the morning. For Joshua to have his fight. For the US fighters to have their fight. So.
Waiting up for Ricky Hatton costing my GCSEs. I think I'm over.
Listen, I remember Canelo and Mayweather. I had to go to sleep, and by the time I woke up to get ready for work at 6 in the morning, that fight was still going. it's too much, and
Mate,
then now it's the UK's
yeah,
time.
man, that was
It's
painful.
a sad day. It's a sad
Man,
day.
Orange staying up, boom. Hey.
Yeah, at least he got an early night there too. Earlier than usual.
Oh lord.
Right, what's next?
So yeah, we're going to be talking about Amir Khan and Phil GRECO, April 21st, Liverpool. So Khan, former silver medalist, a unified lights welterweight world champion. Can he make another comeback at 31 years old?
If he can't, we'll find out against GRECO, because GRECO, in terms of comeback fights, he is at the tougher end of a comeback fight. Okay, so he is a real challenge, Phil GRECO.
Okay.
So do not look at the Errol Spence fight. He took that fight on, 2 days' notice?
Yeah.
And he got knocked out in 3 rounds, but right now, Amir Khan is not Errol Spence.
Amir Khan's been out for like 2 years.
Exactly. Okay, and also Errol Spence is a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And he's been looking very impressive. Okay, go and watch GRECO against Sean Porter, a very good Sean Porter. He went 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And he managed to he gave Sean Porter some work. He took the centre of the ring at times. He managed to push Sean Porter back at times, which is no easy feat.
Yeah.
So if Amir Khan is not what he used to be, if he is what he used to be, he wins easy. I think he wins on points easy, maybe a late stoppage.
Okay, cool.
But if he's been out of the ring for 2 years, he's had a lot of personal problems.
Yeah.
He was a very fast fighter, athletic fighter. Those kind of fighters don't last very long. Yeah, will that catch up with him? He got brutally knocked out in his last fight. If all of these things,
that's quite something, wasn't it?
if all of these things come into play, GRECO may expose him.
Yeah.
Or make him look bad. Make him look bad. Maybe not expose him, but make him look bad.
Mate, like, I know it's a tough tune-up fight. I don't really see full.
Have you not been watching The Culinary Fighter?
Listen, man.
Actually, you know what? I thought Khan's way too skillful for him.
I think GRECO's taking it very. This is basically like GRECO's world title fight, in my opinion.
Suppose so.
It's his grand opening to the world in terms of Porter. He's faced Porter before.
Yeah.
And Errol Spence, but let's be honest, Khan is still a bigger name for. That's what it is. In world of boxing,
Khan is the bigger name.
Khan is the bigger name.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that his success hasn't been replicated as of late, but he's still the bigger name to a lot of general public.
100%.
So I think GRECO is taking this seriously because he knows a lot of people are going to be looking at this, and with Khan, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this like you said, at 31, this is possibly his last chance of getting the big money fights that he wants. Obviously, he was going hard with the Mayweather talk that never materialized. He got a big money fight in Canelo and bit off more than he can chew, and it was a very worrying punch to see. You know, that fight it weren't even a situation of out cold. It's like seeing his whole body tensed up like that. It wasn't a good look, and you got.
Well, that's Amir Khan's look, though, isn't it?
No, listen, Khan, that's them two. That's not Ray.
Weight divisions are there for a reason.
No, I know, obviously, but then you gotta remember, his chin wasn't the greatest before, but has it now truly diminished? After Canelo fight, is it gonna be easier to hit that button, and he'll go snooze?
It's a shame because I think he's such a talented boxer, and one of the best out there. But that chin of his, jeez. He's changed trainer now, hasn't he?
That's another thing. He's with Joe Goosen now. How's that gonna affect his confidence in the ring? He gained a lot of confidence from Virgil Hunter because Virgil Hunter is an experienced coach. He's one of those. He can sort of gas a fighter's head to make him sort of believe he's ready for a fight. Can Joe Goosen have that same effect?
I'm sure you can. Goosen's done it in the past. Don't see why not, but we shall see.
It also depends about how much time he spent with Goosen. I'm not too sure. I haven't been following Khan that deeply to know how much time, because another thing with getting a new coach is that it takes time to get into the routine and truly get a connection with the coach, because everyone can get a new coach, but we've seen so many fights in the past. You keep on swapping coaches because you haven't got that deep connection to have a deep understanding.
But he's left Virgil Hunter because Virgil Hunter is currently ill. So
obviously he has no choice.
He's with a coach that he doesn't actually. He might like Joe Goosen, whatever, it might have grown. But he never intended to be with Joe Goosen. He intended to be with Virgil Hunter, and will that come into play? Joe Goosen is kind of a fill-in, substitute coach.
Guess we have to wait to find out, right?
And get well Virgil.
Yeah. But like I said, all of these factors come into play to make this comeback, 100%, comeback interesting. I think it's definitely worth watching. This is not going to be an Amir Khan discount. You've never heard of Phil GRECO. You will come in and blow the guy out. Phil LaGreco's not that guy.
A lot of people think of Danny Garcia.
There you go. And he's at the tougher. Phil LaGreco's at the tougher end of a comeback fight, and Amir Khan has enough problems and enough sort of outs there to make this an interesting fight.
Definitely. As in that 147 division is pretty stacked, right? So with the likes of Spence, Furman, Garcia, got Porter, got Terence Crawford now. Like, how do you think Amir Khan would do against any of those top contenders?
This is the thing. There's certain fights that you'd want to see Amir Khan have, namely Kell Brook at 147, Danny Garcia at 147.
I'd love to see that rematch.
Yeah, I would love to see those rematches.
They'll take that now as well. I think he'll take that confident. I think Garcia will take that confidently, thinking, again.
Where do you put him, play? Where do you put
Mate,
Garcia Khan? It happens now. Just say Khan comes back, he's his old self. He looks as good as he used to look.
Yeah.
Garcia, you've seen him in his last couple of fights. Where are you putting Khan in with Garcia?
It's a tough one. So I remember watching Garcia against Furman, and I thought Garcia did a wicked job. And with his recent fights,
hold the phone. You've not been Garcia's biggest fan in previous time.
But hey ho, man, that's boxing.
Listen.
He's got to prove himself.
Like
I remember when he fought Khan. After that, he fought Matisse. I thought, this guy's on a roll. Then there was a few suspect fights. Who was that one fella, mate?
He's funny. Wait. Let's get this. Let's take a trip down memory.
I forgot his name.
Wait, let's take a trip down memory lane for the people. Clive bet me Ray a lot of times, and he bet against Garcia. And I told him, listen, Garcia is the truth. Clive,
listen,
Clive lost money.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, on that Amir Khan Garcia fight, the late great Emmanuel Stewart was commenting on that fight. Yeah, at that knockout, he said, "Same old Danny Garcia from the amateurs, never looking great, always winning." And that has been so true throughout his career. And that was early on, R.I.P. Emmanuel, but he called it straight. and that is the truth. He literally, look, he'll lose a split decision, he'll win a split decision. He's like B-Hop. You'll never outclass Danny Garcia. I can never see that guy getting outclassed in that way. You see what I mean?
Do you think Rod Salker came close?
Listen, man.
But even like, alright, cool.
In the words of Mayweather, gotta give thanks to Al Heyman.
So where are you putting your pick? Don't sit on the fence.
I can't call it now, man. I need to see Khan against GRECO. Like, he's been out of the game for 2 years. Canelo just whooped his ass. And then it's, we need to see, how he comes back for this fight, really. Khan's a wicked fighter star. I've got to take nothing away from him.
No, he's amazing. And he's been a great ambassador for a British sport. British sport in general. British sport he's represented. And also, Amir Khan, say what you want about the guy. Have you ever seen a boring Amir Khan fight?
No.
You will never see a boring because he is either handing out a shellacking or he's just getting knocked by a
car. Do you remember that Maidana fight? That was so wicked.
He goes down the shield.
The Canelo fight, excellent.
Yeah.
You're always on, even if he's sort of 10 rounds up or 11 rounds up, you always know that he can sort of get knocked out. So it's Amir Khan fights are always fun, and that's why as a boxing fan, would you rather see that or someone like Mayweather, who is a genius and he's a defensive genius and he can box amazingly? You kind of walk into these fights and you think, there's a very slim chance he's going to lose. And you kind of look at the spectacle of Mayweather, he's fantastic. But Amir Khan, as flawed as he is, he makes it fun. In a similar way to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua seems to me to be quite flawed. But he can knock you out, or it looks like he could get knocked out as well. It's always fun. Boxing's far more fun when it's like that.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Another fight, lads. April 21st, we've got Carl Frampton as he takes on Donaire. What's your take on that fight?
Donaire doesn't look the same as he used to.
Alright, fair enough.
It hurts. Listen, it hurts, but it is what it is. He doesn't look the same like he used to. Rigondeaux came in, he gave him the work.
Are you on commission for selling this fight, Ray?
I'm not on commission for selling this fight.
Guys justice.
Listen, if these promoters want to, give me free tickets, the Weigh-In podcast.
We're not that cheap promoters.
We're not cheap, but
No,
I'll appreciate an invite.
No, you're right. Donaire is definitely past his best, but when have you seen as big a name as Donaire is the fight in Belfast? I think the fight's in Belfast. as big a fight as biggest fighter as in there. It's a great spectacle, and it shows a lot about how far British boxing has come, that we can get those kind of names to come over. And it's a fun fight. It's a big event. Yeah. I'm excited to see that Frank Warren is using the BT Sport money to sort of create these events now. And although they're not as big as Matchroom, they're a few years behind, but there are signs that they are catching up in the future.
Definitely.
So that's exciting, and it's a kind of sign of Frank Warren's comeback, which is exciting. That's a big reason to get behind it. And also, Frampton's kind of at a crossroads in his career. He's left the McGuigans in a kind of what seems to be a messy sort of situation, and he's gone with a trainer, Jamie Moore, who you just think, is Jamie Moore the right man? Yeah, he's only trained one fighter previously, to my knowledge, Tommy Coyle. Yeah, and it was a mixed sort of affair, and it was a bit strange. And then Carl Frampton's picked him. I'd rather see him go with one of the more celebrity coaches from the UK, such as Dominic Ingle, Adam Booth, someone like that, because someone of the prestige and the experience of a Frampton. So I was a bit disappointed with that, and his last performance under Jamie Moore was a bit lackluster. But I would love to see Frampton come back, because Frampton on his day was one of the most exciting fighters in the UK.
We saw his fights against Leo Santa Cruz.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm just glad as to I was fully expecting that trilogy to take place. I would have thought it would have taken place last year, but hey ho, maybe that's on the card still for the winner of this fight.
And they're setting up the Selby Warrington sort of winner, which is a fun fight. I think Selby wins that fight, and Selby Frampton is one's a champion. That's a big fight.
So guys, check that out. Playing in action April 21st. We've got Khan.
One last on.
So we got to touch upon Canelo.
Wait, just before that, on the Selby Warrington card, there's a young up-and-coming fighter called Mikey Saki. Look out for him. That's Mike Saki, Sakyi. Good welter/light welterweight coming up in the ranks. Very good boxer from London. Support him. Check out his work, man. He's doing a lot of stuff, and I think that's another great British talent coming through. So watch out for him.
What's his Instagram, Ray?
Mike Sakyi. So that's MikeSakyi. Check him out.
I'll go for Mike's sake, you spelled that correctly.
Listen, man.
I was gonna say James DeGale, but go on, Canelo. Poor old James DeGale, not getting
Poor James DeGale. No, I can see James pick up a win, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think James is fine. If not, then damn.
Yeah, I just saw
I'll follow up episode of that.
So by the time this comes out, James would have probably fought, but yeah. So good luck to James, regardless. He's going out to America. He's got it all to do. Caleb's a good fighter, but.
You got this, James.
But yeah, got Canelo. So big
Canelo.
cinch.
Jeez, so
and Mexican beef.
Yeah, Mexican beef is something else, eh? What do you make of that situation? Nuts, right? Golden the boys, poster boy.
Well, I think credit to boxing that as big a star as Canelo is. So boxing's biggest star right now. I would say outside of Mayweather,
he's up there.
Who's semi-retired.
Yeah.
You have to say he's probably boxing's biggest star, and he failed a drugs test, and what looks like he's probably going to serve a ban, and they've cancelled the big event. I thought they would just went through with the event, just brushed over the rug.
Yeah.
But boxing earned some credibility for once, which is a good sign.
I don't know about that totally. I agree with it to an extent, only because, quote unquote, he withdrew from the fight. So this is, for me, it sounds more of a damage control from Golden Boy that he withdrew. Maybe they're gonna say, I don't know if they're gonna say, oh, Canelo wants time off, and that time off is code word for the ban. Yeah. But then it looks publicly, it looks better for him if they go, Canelo decided, his morals wasn't right with everything. He wanted to take time off. It sounds better than Canelo serving a ban.
And he comes back as a vegan. I love it.
Listen, the vegan ginger warrior. You can't, and he's Mexican. You can't. You just can't write this stuff, man. I'm telling you.
He's a millennial fighter.
Well, yeah. Boys, let's wrap this up. It's been a pleasure. Do check out our future videos at the weigh-in. Peace out, people.
Take care.